What's up, guys? Jonathan here, and I have been pretty grateful lately because I was able to transfer some files off my phone onto my Dell laptop, by the way, which I still love, the XPS 15, the 95, I think I have the 9560, and I was super grateful to be able to do that because now my phone has plenty of storage, and I was able to upload those last two drone videos. And I was thinking today earlier about a video I watched from Dave 2D, who has a YouTube channel on people who live in vans. It's like a van life channel. And I watched one of his videos, and in the video, he was sick. He had a cold or something. And dude, I'll never forget it. It like impacted me because he was still shooting a video even though he was sick. And he had a tissue hanging out of his nose, and he was obviously like miserable as shit. And I think what struck me about it was that he was super ill and he decided to shoot a video anyway. So I've mentioned this previously, but making the transition into full-time RVing and living in this Airstream, even though we are stationary and staying in the same general area for a while, well, I guess that doesn't even matter because it's just like the transition period. The move out of an apartment and then into this Airstream and having to deal with storage, needing to sell all our stuff, getting internet, trying to pack all our stuff in here, getting everything organized and outfitted, and all of the changes that I mean, because everything changes. And we not only moved into this Airstream, we actually moved down from South Lake Tahoe to the Central Coast down here in Grover Beach. So it has definitely in me sparked up and triggered my PTSD, which, by the way, if you have PTSD, and I just talked to a psychologist last night about this, who totally agrees with me that like PTSD and actually like other mental illnesses and or disorders are psychosomatic. So there's nothing structurally wrong, even though the psychosomatosis and the things that are happening in the psyche that are causing the how it works is like once the rage and the unconscious and the other feelings and the pressure down there get to a certain point, the ego working with the unconscious mind can like basically change the chemistry within your brain. And you know, I've been thinking more and more about starting a channel about Mind-Body Syndrome and my my journey with that. But yeah, the transition into the Airstream and the move period and all the change and all the, you know, trying to find internet, stuff like that. I can't get sessions with my therapist because of lack of internet. I haven't figured out what to do. Has really triggered some PTSD. Like, it's triggered my stuff that I normally walk around with and I'm recovering from super slowly. But yeah, I've been going through it. So like, what do I do when I'm having a panic attack and I feel like, damn, I wish I could make a video and like work harder on my channel and do this and do that. So really, for me, what I've learned over the years is just baby steps, because they work and they add up. And especially for someone who's so achievement, success, goal oriented as me, and who can be as hard, you know, I'm extremely hard on myself. That's just the way. So baby steps. And also, like, you know, one of these days I might just have to allow myself to go with that feeling and shoot a video while I'm in bed. I mean, one of the reasons why I do this channel is because it's therapeutic. So dude, if I, and another point I wanted to touch on was, so Dave 2D shot a video while he was in bed, right? And he's sick. He's got the flu or whatever he had that had him like, in the grit. And what is the difference if I'm in bed and shooting a video, and this is my stuff. I'm not projecting any of this onto society or whatever. I'm just saying that, like, why would PTSD be looked at in any other, like, light than any other illness, short-term or long-term, like acute or chronic or whatever? So yeah, there might be some days here going forward where I shoot a video in bed. I mean, that's probably not recommended, but guess what? Like, I don't give a shit. I might just do a video in bed. I'm gonna be unshowered, and basically, like, that's gonna be progress for me, because that's me and that's my journey. So yeah, if you do have PTSD or like gnarly anxiety and depression, which is becoming ever increasingly an issue, an epidemic here, especially in the West, with a society that's so focused on keeping up with the Joneses and doing more and being more and winning all the trophies and like falling upwards. What the fuck is that? Like, falling, can't you fall down? Just fall down. Can people fall down sometimes? Is that okay? Falling upwards and continually like improving oneself. And I mean, it's not, we don't have mind-body syndrome and stress illness all over flat Earth. Like, there are places on Earth where they're like, what, dude? What, you're gluten intolerant? You have fibromyalgia? What, like, anxiety? Like, they wouldn't understand what those, they wouldn't have words for that shit because they don't have it there. So, God, that is a long, roundabout way of saying there might be some times here where I'm shooting videos in bed. And also, if you have PTSD and other stuff like that, anxiety, depression, fibromyalgia, IBS, like most of the health conditions in our society are mind-body syndrome and tension myositis syndrome. Then look up the Sarno material. Look up Dr. Sarno. I actually see his protege down in Los Angeles, and it has absolutely like changed my life. I'm getting my life back, albeit slowly. And yeah, you're not alone. So if they can't find anything wrong with you, and I had all the tests, the blood tests, the Lyme tests, the endoscopes, scopes both directions, MRIs, CAT scans, x-rays, till I was blue in the face and wondering like if I was ever going to find out what was wrong with me. And I finally did. I got diagnosed with mind-body syndrome from a medical doctor down in Los Angeles. So yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at. I try to keep it kind of transparent on this channel, and it's part of the reasons why this channel is therapeutic for me. So yeah, if you have that stuff, and if the doctors can't find anything wrong with you, and if you are open, here's the thing, if you are open to the fact, because it's a fact in my life, if you're open to the fact that emotions can cause, I should probably say that softer, if you're open to the notion or the ideal that emotions can cause symptoms, then I would say look up mind-body syndrome or TMS or Dr. Sarno. Because for me, I mean, I got to trade in all of the other stuff that I thought I had for that one diagnosis, and I get better slowly. So yeah, you're not alone, and you can look up that information. I don't know if I'll put links below because I'm just kind of, doing what I can do. And yeah, I probably won't even name this video mobile AT&T wireless internet, because we have 7 minutes here where I talked about mind-body syndrome and PTSD. But it doesn't matter, dude. I'm still gonna say some stuff about AT&T wireless internet. I would not even suggest that you think about getting AT&T wireless internet and that little, it's a cellular device. That's okay. It's a cellular device. So I wouldn't even suggest looking into it before you have someone in your area. And this doesn't matter for people who are constantly traveling. I think it probably would end up at a certain point in time being a good idea to purchase, because it's a deal where you get 100 gigs for $80, and then you pay $20 for voice, which you don't really need if you have a cell phone. And then it's $10 to rent the device unless you pay $199 up front to get it. And I wouldn't recommend even, messing with it unless you have someone in your area, friends. Like, grab their mobile if they have AT&T wireless service, and do a speed test on it and find out what kind of speeds you're getting. Because, like, we got ours and it was getting, I held it outside the Airstream. I know I live in a Faraday cage, and we were getting 5 megs down. So it was just awful slow. I drove up to San Luis Obispo and tested it again, and it was getting less than that. I couldn't even, it wasn't even connecting good enough to get a good test. And then I drove to Arroyo Grande and I tested it there because I could just plug it into my inverter on my car. And it got like 4 and then 6 and then 11 there. And just the fact that it jumps around that much, and the fact that it was $110 a month, we just decided to send it back, because we would have had to spend a lot more money right now to even get it working so that it's worth anything at all to us in the place where we're at right now. Also, like, AT&T for me, and I feel like there's other people who feel the same way, AT&T is the devil. And when you make a deal with the devil, there can be perks, but it's probably not going to work out great. And if you have AT&T, that's cool. That's good. If it works for you, that's great. I hate AT&T. And that's not a very positive thing, but like, that's the truth. So I think they're the worst customer service in the world. And when it was just another example of that truth that I found in my life, because when we called to get it hooked up, it took 3 hours to do so, and it was awful, and no one wanted to help us. We finally got to the right guy, and we were having this other guy help us and stay on the phone with us. And at one point he was like, you know what, that was the right place to call. He just didn't want to do it for us. And we were like, what, dude? Like, we got transferred 6-7 times. It took 2 days to do it. And then once it finally got okay, and it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. I was yelling. It was awful, dude. And then once we finally got it hooked up, I watched a show on Netflix, and they throttled me. So I had to call and have them take some sort of limiter off my account. It was just the whole experience, dude, with AT&T. I don't know how in the world that doesn't get better over decades. It's gotten worse. It just keeps getting worse. It's an evil company. So that's my opinion, my story. I'm sticking with it. I definitely wouldn't recommend it. Just from my experience that I had with that, there's probably other options out there. But you know what? I'm not saying that it won't work for you or that it won't be actually a good solution, because the gigs that you get for the price, if you're in areas where AT&T service is better, which is another thing. I don't understand why generally AT&T can have such crap service in places still in 2018. But yeah, if you are traveling all the time in different areas, and it's just one layer of your package that you're using for the internet connectivity solution, then I think it's probably worth looking at for sure. But for us right now, absolutely not. And I'm actually kind of relieved, because did I mention I hate AT&T? Because I do. That's all good. AT&T, if you're hearing this, don't worry about it. It's gonna be okay. I'm sure you probably actually don't give a shit what I think about you or not. I just wish your customer service was better, because it's a nightmare. It really is a nightmare. And I should wrap it up. I appreciate you guys for watching. And Sorry that this was kind of a blown out, like, long rambly video, but I'm kind of not sorry, because maybe I needed to get that off my chest. I will be shooting another video soon, and it might be in bed and maybe not, and that's about it. If you like the video, please do so, and you can also hit the subscribe button and help me out. I'm getting closer and closer to 100 subscribers, which at that point I've heard it's a lot easier to start getting traction. But really, essentially, I just appreciate the people today who are watching this video today, and I will see you in the next.